Hello everyone. It is January 29th, 2019, and this is the first tech vlog of not only the year, but of the past year. I haven't posted anything since mid-December of 2017. So it is certainly time that I update you all on what has changed around here, what is going on, just some of my thoughts, because quite honestly, I've missed making these tech vlogs, but because I don't always have a lot to say, I just didn't have the motivation to make them. But right now I do have the motivation, and I really want to tell you about some of the stuff that has been going on and stuff that has changed around here. So what you're looking at is one of the walls which has shelving on it here in the basement lair, and the goal for from now till the end of summer is to retrieve all of the computer equipment from my parents' house that I have currently stored there, sans one or two things probably, and bring them over here and store them. The restriction I'm giving myself is that it has to fit within this wall. So anything from the server rack over until it meets the wall back there, that is including my Legos, it all has to fit there, and all my parts have to fit up there, which is pretty well packed, which is okay because that is just about all the parts that I have. That is the plan. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, apart from a minute and 45 seconds, you will know that I like to hoard stuff, and I have so much stuff to get rid of. And it's difficult, especially because I'm not going to just scrap it, unless it really is just worth nothing. I'm going to try to sell off most of it, or at the very least give it away. Because I know that a lot of the equipment I have, and a lot of the parts, a lot of the PCs, they're worth something to somebody, and I'd like to find that person and have them enjoy this computer, because I got enjoyment out of it. Now, I know that that's not 100% realistic. I'm not going to find somebody for every single machine, but that is the plan, and I'm going to do my very best to do that. What that means is that in this section right here, right in the middle of the screen, I'm going to have to fit the rest of my collection from my parents' house. And I think there's only about 7, maybe 8 machines left there, towers, kind of like that one. I have homes for 3 of them already. I just need to bring them back here and get them rehomed. But the rest of them are going to have to fit here. And it's been kind of a long, it's been a difficult mental process to figure out what I want to get rid of, how I want to do it, and just kind of be okay with getting rid of it. Because a lot of these computers came at a time in my life when I was really enjoying what I was doing with these vintage machines. It was a fun experience. I enjoyed them. That's all there really is to it. I liked messing around with the computers, and I liked owning them. And I want to get rid of them in a way that I feel okay about, and that is not scrapping them, but rehoming them, as I said. Now, that's not to say I'm not scrapping a lot of stuff. For example, parts. This is from just last night of what I went through and decided to get rid of. Now, before you get too upset, which you shouldn't, and it doesn't matter because I'm going to do it regardless of what you think, haha, a lot of this stuff is simply just junk. Or I have so many duplicates of it that I don't need to keep all of them. And actually, a lot of this stuff that isn't junk, that is probably still usable but not worth anything, I've tried to rehome already. I posted it for free, I posted it for sale on various Facebook groups and Craigslist, and nobody really wants it. And that's just it. I've been trying to get rid of a lot of this stuff for over a year now, 6 months to a year probably. And it's difficult with some of the smaller ticket items like cables. You know, there's this cable right here, which I had 8 of, and I tossed 6 of them. These are floppy drive external floppy drive connectors for older Dell Latitudes. It went with my Dell Latitude CPT. I had 8 of those. I kept 2 of them, and I tossed 6 of them. Because I don't need to hang on to those. It's so pointless to do it. It's not like I'm going to go through 7 cables and be like, well, I'm really glad I had this 8th cable that isn't dead for some reason. That's not going to happen. So, for that reason, and that's the reason I've tossed a lot of stuff in this bin, I'm getting rid of them. Down there's a couple other things. There's a lot of dead hard drives, and they're dead. They've got bad sectors, or they have other issues. Toss them. You know, I don't feel so bad about that. But, yeah, it has actually felt really good to get rid of a lot of this stuff. A lot of the stuff is just clutter, and I'm trying to declutter. So let's turn our attention back over here once more. My plan, as I said, is to slim down the computer collection, bring it back from my parents' house, bring it here. I'm probably only going to keep 3 desktop computers in addition to this one I have over here. I don't know exactly which ones yet. I might only even keep 2. I'm not sure. The one that I know for sure I'm going to keep is my IBM 5150. That one, let's check the time here. Got something cooking. That one I found in the recycling in absolutely immaculate condition. Like, it had just been taken out of the box, and that was it. I had the original keyboard, and it had a period correct monitor. That is not only just cool to me because of the experience and that I enjoy it in general, but that's a cool computer to a lot of people, and it's very well respected in the community of vintage computer nerds, I would say. So for that reason, I'm going to keep that one. And I have another small form factor Pentium 4 machine that I want to keep, and something else. Honestly, I can't even remember what it is. I think it's a Pentium 3 Dell Optiplex, which I will eventually get rid of because I don't have that much of an attachment to it, but I really like it. I just kind of like it. That sounds so lame, but it's true. I enjoy using it, so I'm going to keep 3 or 4 machines here and sell the rest. That's the plan, and I'm going to try to stick to it. So we'll see where that goes. That'll take a couple of months for me to, find homes for everything. I'm not in any particular hurry, but I would like to get rid of it so I don't have to think about it, I guess would be the best way to put it. So if anybody's interested in some vintage PCs, Pentium 2, Pentium 3 stuff, then let me know, and we'll see if we can work something out. Let's move on to a couple other things you might be interested in. Here's the server rack. This has gone through several iterations recently, and I've just recently landed on a configuration that I think will work for quite a long time for me. In the server rack, let's open it up and show you. So on the front, I've mounted a monitor so that it's out of my way, but if we go ahead and open it, we've got a couple interesting things in here. So I've got 2 Dell Optiplex 7010s. These are the desktop version of the PC. They run pretty much all the time. They're off right now because I had to do some configuration, but those are running ESXi, and those run my VMs throughout. They're just my VMs. I don't know what I was going to say. Underneath that's the 8-bay NAS. You might remember that from previous videos. And I've added a little UPS, but it is sufficient for what I run down here. It's a little trip-light unit. I think it cost me $100 brand new. And what else? Got a network switch. Got the KVM hiding up there. I've got my backup NAS. That's the Seagate one. Currently running that. It's an 8. See, I bent this stupid thing. Now it doesn't close. There it goes. It's an 8 terabyte NAS, and I wanted to get rid of it for the longest time to make money, but again, surprisingly, nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. And that thing was $800 new. I didn't pay that. I paid $200 new. I was trying to get about $150 for it, which I thought was extremely reasonable, but nobody really wanted it. So that's another part of the rack here. I've added some nice blue LED fans for ventilation, because when I didn't have those in there, it got so hot that it was getting a little bit scary. And that power supply up on the top is my temporary solution for running those fans until I get something else that works a little bit better. Stuff over here is, again, kind of a temporary setup that's usable. This is my childhood PC. I managed to find a Dell monitor. I may have mentioned that a couple vlogs ago. That was a long time ago. And I've calibrated it mostly. It still has a couple issues, but I'm going to fix those when I have some spare time. That's a big old Dell Trinitron, or a Sony Trinitron / Dell. I love this monitor. This is the one that I grew up using, and it was an absolute tank. Great looking, and I just like it. So, yeah, got that set up here just for messing around with. And, yeah. Let me think of something else to say here. I kind of forgot what I was about to say. The goal, I guess one of the goals of getting rid of everything is to clear up some space to store house stuff. Because this is, after all, a house that I'm living in. I need room for things. So I've organized this top bit and made it look nice. I got Christmas decorations, various other things, and I hung up all the camping and hiking gear. But this area here, with all the cardboard boxes and the packing material and this one box of random stuff, I want to clear out and have this area free for other stuff. And that will effectively, as I said, give me this shelf, and of course a server rack for my own storage. And it'll consolidate it, and I'll feel a little bit better about having the stuff that I do have. Coming over here to the desk area, I think the last time you saw the desk it was over here. I moved that for a couple of reasons, main one being just because I liked it better over there, but I also brought the iMac down here. It's my 2010 27-inch iMac that I've owned since it was new, so it's going on, it's 8.5 years old now. That is, it's working very well down here. I really like having it. I used to have Sun Ultra 24, and then I had something else, but they didn't really work for down here. So I brought this down here because it's all contained in one. It's fast enough for what I need to do, and it's just nice to have a Mac down here. So I got that set up, and I've modified the desk a little bit, and I've added this shelf that's attached to the wall. Now initially I tried to mount the iMac, or I tried to set the iMac on the shelf, and then the shelf started to rip out of the wall, because apparently the studs are not placed in standard locations in this wall. So there's actually, there's one right there, there's one right there, and then there's one right here, and then there's another one right here. It almost goes with the little stripes on the wall. It's bizarre, it's stupid, I don't know why it was done that way, but I ended up just mounting the iMac on the wall for security purposes, and so that's how it is. I've got an external monitor running off there so I can have my surveillance up there and my email as well. Desk is a total mess right now. I am, as I said, going through everything and selling it, and I've got a buyer for a lot of my items right now. I just have to have them pay me. So somebody bought a couple of 4.3 gig drives and a 6 gig drive. Somebody bought all the rest of my expansion cards that I was trying to get rid of. I've got a bunch of other old hard drives over there that are going to somebody. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a mess over here right now, but it is what it is. I don't know if I ever mentioned this in any video yet, so I'll mention it again. This over here that looks like an iMac is not actually an iMac anymore. It's got the screen and the chassis, but that's about it. It's actually a monitor. And I put a lot of time and work into this monitor. I first found, of course, the driver board so I can use it with just a regular computer through VGA or DVI. But I've also added inside a USB hub that is powered. It's USB 3. And I've routed 4 of the ports over to here, right where the USB ports on the iMac are. I've also routed mini DisplayPort to there, to the mini DisplayPort port, and audio. I've put an audio in here so you can essentially use it as an external monitor that has a bunch of stuff attached to it. So it's the monitor. I've got the card reader working. That's over USB. Got the optical drive over USB working. The audio, both the speakers in there work. So yeah, it's really nice. My only regret is that I wish I could wall mount it, and unfortunately you can't do that on this model without modifying the chassis, and I don't really want to do that. But it's a nice little monitor. I enjoy having it around. I never knew how good Windows XP looked on a Mac monitor. I'll give it that. So here's my test PC. This is, of course, kind of hiding in the back there. Looks awful, but it serves a purpose. It's got a board in there that has PCI and PCI Express. So that's what I pretty much use it for, testing cards, testing hard drives. Not much else. Not much else. I guess that's about it for downstairs. I don't know what else to really mention because it's been so long since I've mentioned anything. I don't know what you know about and what you don't know about. So I guess I'll leave it there and let you all ask questions as you think of them. Yeah, don't know if posting vlogs will be a regular thing. I've kind of lost interest in YouTube a little bit. Just, I don't know, lost interest is all. So we'll see how that goes. I'll certainly be around to answer comments and questions, as always. So that is it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching, and we'll see you in the next tech vlog, or I'll talk to you in the comment section of this video.